Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by 216 Mike and EG Laflare, and produced by Walt K Disney. This is a sports show with a college football focus that allows you, the fans, to create topics and discussions.
So what we want y'all to do is subscribe to all of our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. And we stream live every Sunday night. And the show will be available on all podcast platforms every Monday morning. Let's get right to it.
What's
Hey,
Let's
going on,
go.
peoples?
how was your holiday? Happy Thanksgiving. Happy belated birthday, Mike.
Appreciate it,
Hey,
appreciate
happy
it.
belated, Mike.
Appreciate it, man. My holiday
Go
was
ahead.
good, just enjoyed the family time. The wife and I, just went ahead and cooked, stayed here in good old Frisco, Texas, and just enjoyed our family time, man. So it's been pretty good, nice and chill. I didn't have to drive all over anywhere, so I'm
Right.
happy. I can't complain.
EG, what about you?
Hey, same, man. My family came to Georgia from Arkansas, so it was a great Thanksgiving. Usually I don't get to see my family on Thanksgiving, but hey, this one was great.
Hey, that's what's up. This year I was forced to rest, so I didn't do nothing but stay at home and catch some Z's and watch some FIFA, and that's about it for me. But this was been a crazy week for college football. But before we jump into the week of upsets, let's talk about some coaching update. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Hey,
so it looks like Nebraska has a new head coach. Matt Rule is going over there. It looks like Lane Kiffin is staying at Ole Miss. So shout out to them for keeping him there. David Shaw resigns as Stanford's head coach. I think he's been there for around 12 years. So
Yeah.
he's officially stepping down on that. And there's rumors that Luke Fickell is headed to Wisconsin. I know, Mike, you've mentioned that earlier in the past couple of shows. And it looks like Kenny Dillingham is Arizona State's new head coach, which makes him the youngest coach in the Power Five.
Yeah,
So,
I think he like 30 something,
yeah, I think so. I feel
like
like
32.
I want to say 32 or 35 in that range, but yeah, he is one of the youngest head coach in the Power Five. So shout out to him for making that big move on that. And I feel like this is just the beginning with the coaching shakeup, Mike. And I know you mentioned Luke before. So what are you thinking about Wisconsin and them sealing the deal with that?
A lot of people are talking about, hey, why didn't he just take the Notre Dame job or whatever? That's more intriguing, but I just feel like that's not Luke Fickell's thing, and like he likes the culture of Wisconsin fits Luke Fickell's like so much better. I just feel like, what I'm saying, blue collar, tough nose. They've already been known for defense and everything, and he just has to go in there and implement an offensive system that works. Because Wisconsin has been known for defense. They haven't had an issue for defense, and his defenses has been one of the top in the nation as well. Even with being at a group of five school. So, I'm happy for Luke. And, I know after this past week, some Ohio State fans was wanting to hit Luke up. And I'll tell you this, look, if Ohio State wants Luke Fickell, even though he just went to Wisconsin, they will go get him. And he will go to his alma mater. So,
yeah,
Yeah.
how I
but
feel is
I also wanted to make the point. Lane Kiffin, his agent,
finesse the
amazing.
raise. They finesse the
Amazing, yes,
raise.
because to put out what people don't realize is what these agents do is they put out these smokes,
Yeah,
to get these things going. And what that does is that gives leverage to the head
yeah,
coach to where it's like you might not know or hear anything about like uh a public extension or anything like that, but best believe them boosters are, hey, what's up, coach? Want to go have dinner? Hey, man, take this bag home with you, coach. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah.
hey, and everybody who that I know of that has money loves untaxed money. So, just saying.
oh
Coach said, "Can I get
yeah.
an NIL deal?"
Oh
They got
God.
finesse. He finessed the bag. Well, that's the way you do it, man. And before all this stuff started, I was thinking that maybe he's doing it just for a raise. I tweeted that out a few times. I was like, he's doing it for a raise. And then I started to believe myself that he was actually going to Auburn with all the reports coming out. I'm like, man, is he really going? But in the end, it was just a chance to get a raise. But, you know, also with the coaching changes, I feel like the Big Ten just got tougher, man. USC joining, UCLA's there. So you got some big time coaches. You got Fickle going to Wisconsin, Rule at Nebraska. I feel like the Big Ten just got that much tougher. It's going to be tough
Mhm.
to come out of that conference right now, man. USC is looking good. UCLA is looking competitive. Hey, the Big Ten just got tough. All the times that people thought the Big Ten was tough, I think it really becomes tough now. I think it'll have at least 5 good teams over there every year, so it's going to be hard to come out of that conference now.
Oh yeah, it's definitely is. It seems like Big Ten and SEC top two for sure. We got a comment. Let's fire.
Let's
Hey,
fire
Mike.
that Buckeye pack
Man,
Mike.
fired up,
Speaking
man.
of
I
which,
know everybody been smoking it all weekend long, boy. Lord Jesus.
Mike been
Ooh-wee.
sitting in the paint as soon before the game was even over. Mike was in the paint. Let's get to some week
Man.
13 week recap.
Yeah, man.
Ooh.
I was on playback, so I was in the paint all throughout the game, even after the game, man. So I got fired up in every which way you could think of, man. How do you say it? That team up north came in our trap, took over our trap, man, and
Absolutely.
they planted the flag in our stadium. And for some reason, this new era of Ohio State doesn't understand the importance of the rivalry. You have players who have went on record to reporters saying that in 2021 that they said in 2021, we didn't take them seriously. How do you not take a team seriously that everything was on the line and you going to the CFP, right? And then this year, after the game, they were saying that one game doesn't define this team, whereas at as Ohio State in Ohio culture, you can lose every game. But you can't lose the game. You can lose like that culture, that understanding needs to come back to Ohio State. The first half, Ohio State looked like they were humming, man, and everything was going good. And next thing you know, things just started to stall out. Come on, the second half, only put up 3 points, man, and a lot of people are blaming Ohio State's defense, and maybe that possibly could be the case. But I put it to you like this. This defense gave Ryan Day the ball way more than he had last year, and he did nothing with it. Not one thing. I'm sitting here. How am I, as a guy that doesn't make $7 million, sitting here watching the game and calling the plays before it happened? Saying, hey, you need to call a timeout. They about to run a QB run right there in the end zone, and that's exactly what happens. Oh, they about to run the ball right here. We got people off the line of scrimmage. Like, it made no sense, man. I'm trying to figure out if Ryan Day was point shaving, what was going on, because honestly, it made no sense. The post was open when they was playing cover two all damn game. I was calling that crap out, and it still didn't happen, man. So yeah, fire Ohio State up. Ryan Day will definitely hot seat. If he lose for a third year straight, he will be the next John Cooper. He right now he's looking like the next John Cooper.
that's
Hey
crazy.
man, I warned you about this Michigan team, man. I always preach these guys scoring points, just running the ball. Yeah, McCarthy, he passed the ball nice. He made key passing plays when they needed to. It wasn't a fake about it. You knew the pass was coming. The guy came out there and delivered. They run straight down your throat. This game looked exactly the way they played Penn State. The score is kind of somewhat similar with how much they scored on offense. But anyway, they ran the ball down y'all throat. I warned you about the physicality of this team. They let a freshman come in there and get 200 yards. Ohio State don't
Ooh.
have the defense. I was trying to give you guys a heads up, but every time you speak on Ohio State, You don't know football. You hating. You don't like them. I
But
tried to
they
get a
didn't win like
warning.
you said that they won. They honestly they weren't winning by running down our throat though. They did. That's not how they won. Like they won by throwing the ball. Like
How
they
could
were
you say
held
that
to.
when a
They
running
were
back had
held.
200 yards rushing
Yes,
on y'all?
because he had 200 yards. Because he had two big runs at the end of the game, bro. They were
Yeah.
averaging 1.8 yards before
And
that. You do
McCarthy
realize
made
that
some key plays. Like I
they
said before, I said they were running.
the passing game was their
You
main
guys
focus,
can't
not
cover
the run game.
anything. You
Yeah,
guys
our DBs
cannot
got cooked,
cover. He
Cooked.
didn't have
cooked.
but 190 passing yards, but every pass he made was cooking y'all. So they built it up with the run and passed the ball. These guys play old fashioned football. It wasn't a trickery. When they were passing, I knew they were passing. The pass was obvious. The guys they ran. They cook y'all the old fashioned way. They didn't have to run many trick plays. It's just over the top, straight down your throat, man. You guys knew what was coming, couldn't stop it. Like I said on the previous show, you guys would know what's coming and won't be able to stop it. You guys' defense is not battle tested. CJ Stroud is not battle tested. I saw an inflation of numbers all throughout that game. He take a one step drop, make the pass to the wide receiver. He's throwing quick passes. I was seeing defensive ends reading that. I started seeing the defensive ends jumping up, touching the ball, jumping up, trying to jump into the coverage because he's doing the same thing over and over. He's piling the numbers. The stats look good, but when you need a key play, Stroud was not answering. He was
EG.
not answering.
I need you to actually start watching these games, bro, because
I,
everybody's
I'm
trying
not
to figure.
concerned about what you're saying on that
I'm gonna
end.
try to
I
because
watched
you're
the
sitting
game.
here saying that you did, but you do realize everybody, analysts,
Don't throw
everybody
numbers
has.
at me.
I'm not throwing numbers at you. I'm
Don't
talking
do
about
it.
the film. The film. The film says that why is Marvin Harrison these wide receivers running 8-yard outs? There was no quick slants, no quick passes. Most of their routes
I'm
that
not
they're
saying
running are
quick
8
slant.
yards down the field. So that's not when you're talking about throwing the ball.
Not true. Not
Okay,
true.
I'm just talking
The
about the
guy
film,
he
bro.
was taking a one step drop, throwing the ball to the guys right there next to him. He was taking a one step drop, throwing the ball. We call them now routes. He was throwing now routes a lot. That's where his completions were coming from. Yeah, he went downfield a handful of times. He threw slants a handful of times, 8-yard outs a handful of times. But majority of the time, he's throwing the ball to the guy in space. The guy's making a play. I warned you guys about that about 4 weeks ago. I was telling you he's throwing the ball to the receivers and letting them make a play. Yeah, he throw short, then go over the top. That's Stroud. That's what he's doing. That's the offense, Ohio State. It's not no slicing and dicing the defense. That's not what's going on. But the numbers make you think he had a great game. But when you watch that game, when it was time to make that play, JJ McCarthy made more plays than Stroud, even though the numbers won't say it.
No, JJ McCarthy definitely had a better game. But to sit here and if I'm going to sit here and say who's the better quarterback, I'm still going
Oh
to pick.
no, no,
I'm still
of
going to pick
course,
Stroud. Like I mean,
of course.
honestly, if anybody actually watched the game, you know the play calling was absolute trash. When
Mm-hmm.
you're in the first half, you're going downhill and everything's working. You had your six string running back in there, and you were literally pressing them. Then all of a sudden in the second half you start running stretch, which don't work. All of a sudden in the second half, you do a couple swing passes that negates yardage or whatever. That doesn't work. But to sit here and say that it was just now passes, that's just I can't rock with that because that's
It
not even in
wasn't.
their
It.
that's
I'm
not even in their route tree. But I mean,
I'm not saying that that's all they did, but it was a lot
but
of
I
plays
mean,
where the guy
these
he just
teams are.
taking one step
I
drop and
think
he's
both of
throwing the
these teams
ball.
went into this battle tested. Both of these teams went in, you know, playing a nice Big Ten schedule. I mean, one of them had a week 9 conference, but to sit here and say that both of these teams weren't battle tested because of the conference they play in or they didn't play anybody, I think it's false. So I just want to kill that narrative right there.
Um, I mean, I feel like you guys aren't as battle tested as you should be.
Okay, let me
Okay,
ask
you
you a
played
question, EG.
one or two good teams. You
Hold on.
played
Let
Penn
me ask
State.
you how many teams are above 500 in the SEC?
What's your point of this question
You
though?
said that we don't play anybody. You said that they're not battle tested. So I'm asking you, how
Regardless
many
of
teams?
the record, The SEC is physical every week. We see what's going on. We just saw a
Okay,
South
so I will
Carolina
give
team
I
beat
will give
a
the
top
people
10, two
the
top
the,
10
the stats, right?
teams.
I will give people the records, right? The SEC and the Big Ten both have 8 teams that are above 500. The SEC and the Big Ten both have only 3 teams that have double-digit wins.
We don't have no
So,
one at the bottom of the
so,
conference that's only
so
won one game,
what
though.
are
We
you
don't have
what
a
are
team
you talking
that's won
about?
two
They're
games. The SEC
even.
doesn't
They're
have those.
even. Like
The SEC doesn't
this
have
is
guys like
even. Okay,
Northwestern
so you want to
with
talk
one
about
win.
so you want to compare the losing bracket of the
But look at
SEC
the
and
Not
guys
the
the
y'all
Big Ten.
losing.
played. Y'all have not played anyone with a winning record
We haven't played
besides
anybody
Penn
with the
State and
winning back.
Michigan. Penn State and
Maryland
Michigan.
isn't above 500.
Okay, Maryland. And y'all barely
Iowa isn't
escaped
above
Maryland.
500. Hold on,
Yeah,
Iowa
Iowa.
isn't above 500. I
I
mean,
don't know Iowa's
this is my
record.
point exactly. You do not know what you're talking about. You're so SEC biased and saying, "Oh, they don't play nobody." When I show you that
Y'all
Ohio
don't
State
play
has played
nobody.
the
I
same
don't
eight
want
and
you can
five
kill the
teams
narrative.
that
I
Georgia
don't
and
even
them
want to
has
hear that
had.
anymore.
There is no narratives when they come out with these strength of schedules that people like to use or whatever. No one is sitting here saying, "Hey, man, I do see Ohio State strength of schedule is harder than Georgia's." No one wants to talk about Georgia's strength
Why
of
would we
schedule
talk
being
about
worse
that when
than
we
this.
know what Georgia can do? We know how
Because you
good
sit
Georgia
here and say
is.
that these teams aren't battle tested. You sit here and say,
Georgia
"Oh,
beat the
they don't
team.
play anybody." So when we sit here and say that Georgia doesn't play anybody, can I use that narrative? No, I'm not going to
No,
use
you
that
can't.
narrative, bro, because you play your conference schedule. You play
Because
who you have to play. You
you
have
can
to play
see
a
how
crappy Vanderbilt. You have to play a crappy Florida that lose to a Vanderbilt. Come on, man. Like, are we really like, okay, yes, a Rutgers team or whatever only won maybe one game or something like that or whatever like that. Them and
Rutgers, Northwestern,
Rutgers is comparing to Vanderbilt. I mean,
Indiana.
we can compare the lower level teams, but guess what?
Hey,
You got
You
Rutgers
got
ain't coming
Ohio
LSU.
out there
State,
beating no
double
good team.
digit wins. That team up
Vanderbilt
north,
came
double
and
digit
beat
wins. Penn State,
Vanderbilt. Got
double
some
digit
legit
wins.
wins.
All 3 in one conference. All 3 in one division of the conference. You
What does
have
that have to do with
one double
anything, Mike?
digit win in the SEC. You have one double digit win in the SEC West and 2 double digit winners in the SEC what's that, West, right? So I mean, literally imagine if Georgia was also in the SEC West and not the SEC East, right? How does that look?
Lopsided.
Do you end up having 3 double digit teams playing a 9 hold on, also they don't play a 9 conference schedule.
It's gonna look lopsided as hell.
Like, I mean, people want to say that teams aren't battle tested. Let's literally talk about the facts.
Y'all
But
aren't.
anyways, Ohio
That's why
State
when y'all
lost.
get to the
Ohio
games,
State lost,
y'all are
man.
not
They got
ready.
smacked. They
This
got
is for the
smacked. The
second
play
straight
calling was
year.
trash. Honestly, I think Ohio State, free asked, is Ohio State out of the playoffs? I think that they should be. I don't think that they deserve it. I mean, honestly, I think you're going to see Georgia, that team up north, TCU, and USC. I think that those are your teams, man. I mean, I think they'll probably put Ohio State at 5, and maybe if one of those teams slip up, they'll get in, but they don't deserve it. And this is why I love the regular season, because the regular season is the playoffs. Every game in the regular season matters. That's why I love it. And there's only 3 teams that were able to finish undefeated. That tells you, we want to call certain teams trash and things like that, but it's not easy getting 18 to 21-year-olds to get up every week and go undefeated. We've talked about that here on this show. We've talked about NIL. Are these guys going to be hungry anymore after they get their bread? We've talked about these things. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, 11-1 doesn't mean you're a trash team. It just mean you weren't good enough to go to the playoffs.
Hey,
you gonna put USC over Ohio State?
I mean,
absolutely.
if you're really talking about it or whatever, both of these teams are both 11-1 teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you what makes USC work. Do we have that game on our?
Yeah,
We'll talk about
we'll talk about that later.
we'll talk about USC later.
We'll get into USC later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's wrapping up the Ohio State Michigan conversation. So again, this is the Wolverines' consecutive game over the biggest rivalry since 1999
Yeesh,
2000
at
season.
home.
Yeah, at home. And they
Woo.
clinched the Big Ten East and earned a spot in next week's Big Ten champ game. So we'll get a little bit more into that in the upcoming episode. Oregon State, every minute counts. Oregon State was down 21 to come back and win this. It looks like they squandered their Pac-12 champ chance over this game. It looks like USC versus Utah. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. And I'm not sure if you guys saw, it was Oregon's DJ Johnson was seen throwing a punch after a game. A lot of people are talking about maybe the fans shouldn't rush the field because liability reasons, and hey, in the heat of the moment after the game, after losing a huge rivalry game like this and missing out on your chances to the Pac-12 champ, it's better to stay in the stands until they leave and then rush the field after that. Mike, it looked like Bo Nix had a solid performance. So what did you see in this game?
Man, I thought Oregon was winning the game, so I just clicked off. Like, I clicked off. I just assumed, hey, man, they got this in the bag. This game is over with. Little did I know I was wrong. So I did not get to see Oregon State's resurgency in this game. To be honest with you, honestly, I think it's crazy, but it also says, hey, never count your chickens. You know what I'm saying? And also, man, this is why you keep fighting. You keep fighting. No matter what, you keep fighting. Never think that you're out of the fight. And honestly, I think that it just speaks more about this Oregon State team and than anything, man. I mean, to have the resiliency, and that's the culture that Mike Gundy has shown year in, year out. That's something that you could take on a recruiting trip, that you could sit there into a parent's home when you sit there and you say, hey, I'm going to teach your son how to overcome adversities, how to not look at things as just problems, but a way to solve them, and to push harder. I'll say that this says the character about all them young men at Oregon State. And then to talk about your point of him punching the fans, like we talked about that team up north and Michigan State getting into it in the tunnel, man. Emotions are high. Them fans, they talk crap, man. Like, they talk crap, man. I'm never condoning, just because somebody talking crap, you should just knock their block off or anything like that. But like you said, something needs to be done because like the university or these players, it puts them in a bad situation, right? And
Right.
also you don't know, or you're not thinking, oh, these guys are going to rush the field. As a coach, you got so many things to worry about, but it seems like now you have to coach these players up on how to act. You have to come up with some type of protocol. Hey, if they're rushing the field, maybe we're not shaking hands. We just going straight to the tunnel. But the fans are jumping from everywhere. So you got to come in contact with some fans regardless. Dang, it just sucks.
Man, what in this game, man, it was like that fourth quarter adjustment that Oregon State had, man. Oregon was controlling this game the entire time. Oregon even had a chance to win this game down the stretch. They last possession was in the red zone, and Oregon State defense was just not going for it. Those guys were just answering. They stopped the guys right down there, right by the end zone, man. They couldn't get it done, man. Bo Nix couldn't make enough plays. It was just an adjustment by that defense. I think Oregon State scored 21 points in just that fourth quarter, while Oregon only scored 3 points, and they were in the red zone at least 2 or 3 times. So, shout out to Oregon State's defense. It came through and stopped them when they needed most.
Yep, Oregon State definitely stepped up in this for sure. And Free, he asked about, is Lincoln Riley and USC ready for the playoffs for the first year? Speaking of which, our last
Ooh.
recap game, we got we had USC walking away with the win against Notre Dame. They said this was Caleb Williams' Heisman performance. They said he, even though he only threw for 232 yards, he was a playmaker in this game, making some nice plays and some nice throws. And then also their senior running back, Austin Jones, stepped up for Dye, who was out. So USC was ahead 31-14 in the fourth quarter. So I like to see this momentum coming into the next game, especially as they take on Utah.
Oh,
Yeah. Is Lincoln Riley and USC ready for the playoffs in his first year? Maybe so. I'm gonna tell you this: Caleb Williams definitely deserves the Heisman. I think is the Heisman winner. Because here's the thing: I was like, okay, Notre Dame can hang with these guys in the trenches, can win in the trenches, and they were breaking through USC's O-line. The one thing that they couldn't do was get Caleb Williams on the ground. It wasn't like they weren't touching him. I swear that man had more than 10 broken tackles. I mean, this dude is electrifying. His post-game interview, he was talking, he was like, man, our route schemes, our route tree wasn't working, so I started scrambling. And I mean, my thing is this: you can't cover no wide receiver for no 7 seconds or longer. And it just seemed like the way he's able to make plays with his legs, man, that's the game changer. So them in the playoffs is really, I think, going to come down to who can get Caleb Williams on the ground. That's what I think is going to come down to. I'm still unsure of USC's defense. Notre Dame, all they can really do is run the ball. The quarterback threw a pick. He's not really accurate throwing the ball downfield anyways. And then they also had a key fumble that set up USC to actually make the lead very comfortable. So, we'll see. But this team all rides on Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
What's impressive about USC is the fact that they can run the ball. They had a running back with 150 yards this game. Me personally, I thought Caleb Williams would come out passing the ball a lot, but they able to change their identity and run the ball heavily this game. And one thing I do like about Caleb Williams is the guy can make plays with his feet. That's what I'm so against Stroud with. Stroud will refuse to get out there and make a play with his feet when they need it, just to get a key third down, get a key first down. Caleb Williams will get out there and do that. He will get out there and make that short run. He's not running for 150 yards. That's not what he's aiming to do, but the guy is making that key play with his legs. And I think he had a total of 4 touchdowns this game, only 1 passing TD. So, just being able to make that play with his legs. Caleb Williams is him. I agree, man. That guy he has that niche. He want to make that play. He's sacrificing his body. And I think he might be this second or third best quarterback in the country. I'm ready to put him right there with Stroud. They're right in the same atmosphere. But, Caleb Williams, shout out to him for doing it with his legs when he needed. I've seen plays where Stroud have open field and just refuse to go anywhere. He's just looking at the grass, So you have to make those plays in college football. You got to put your body on the line.
Yeah.
I'm on that Lincoln Riley hype train, so I definitely see them going into the playoffs and making
You're supposed to be hating Lincoln Riley. You don't want him to be successful.
I know.
I
know. But still, I'm on that Lincoln Riley hype train. Oh, wait, what did he say? Oh, we got another one. He said Stroud and Williams are not equal.
It depends on what you're talking about. I mean, Caleb Williams has the athletic the guy gave him to extend drives. We're never going to sit here and say that Stroud can do what Caleb Williams does, breaking tackles, moving his footwork and things like that. Now, if you're just talking about sitting in the pocket, being able to throw the ball through NFL windows, I mean, I might lean towards Stroud, but I mean, Caleb Williams has a good arm on him too. So, I mean, maybe the fact that Caleb Williams also has a good arm and the fact that he's willing to be able to extend drives and move his feet could possibly make him a better quarterback. But ultimately, we will see where these guys go once they get to the NFL and, the type of success if they get in a good organization.
Also said,
Caleb Williams has more arm talent too.
I
Uh-oh.
disagree, but
mm,
we'll
Hey,
see.
this my guy Dinger. He's been pushing that hype before anybody else. He's been saying, "Hey, Caleb Williams is better than Stroud." I mentioned it on one of the earliest shows. I have a USC fan who thinks Caleb Williams is better than Stroud. I tried to believe that Stroud was better because of the numbers. I fell in love with the stats, but as I watched the games develop and watch more of Stroud throughout the game, it's just, you know, it's inflation of numbers a lot, man. You have to make those passes downfield more. I see it in Stroud. He makes a lot of throws, NFL throws. We was actually in a group chat throughout the game. That's an NFL throw. That's a nice throw from Stroud. That's a nice throw. But when the game started buckling down, we didn't see those throws. We didn't see those plays that need to be made. Every Ohio State QB is the exact same.
That's
I
crazy.
said that before.
That's
I
like
said that
saying CJ
before.
Stroud is comparable to Braxton Miller.
I
mm,
mean,
That's like sitting there saying JT Barrett is comparable to Troy Smith.
way more mobile.
Like these are not, and everybody says that because of the
Justin
things
Fields
in
did look very
the
similar to Stroud. Let's be real. The way the offense was ran, we know Justin Fields was more of a deep ball passer sometimes, but the
I'll
system looked
ask
the
you guys
same.
this because it seems like everybody forgot who was throwing these deep balls to Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave their last year in college football. Who was doing this?
Those are first round
Who
elite
was
talent wide
throwing these
receivers, though.
deep balls? Because they had to get there by somebody, and they were on point in
Spencer Rattler
NFL
would have done the
windows.
same thing.
That's not absolutely true because you're sitting here saying first you're trying to start pushing and saying that he can't throw this deep ball accurately, but to throw the deep ball accurately, it doesn't matter if you have an NFL wide receiver if you can't get the ball there accurately.
Oh,
And
he can
and
throw deep. It's just
and I mean these NFL windows, they're charted. Like he does it higher than almost anybody else. But I mean, to sit here, everybody, I do understand why everybody says, oh, these Ohio State quarterbacks don't make it. Troy Smith was a more mobile quarterback than an arm talent quarterback. And that's what Ohio State did. They went after guys who were more mobile with their legs. What did the NFL do? It wasn't really until Lamar Jackson that a team took their whole offense and said, hey, we're going to put this all around this one mobile quarterback, right? That's exactly what they did because I would tell you that I think that Troy Smith has better arm talent than Lamar Jackson.
hey, you see this comment
But
right here? He said the other QBs were more successful in Ohio State systems and they had less wide receiver talent.
the other QBs were
I
more
do think
successful. That
Stroud got
is
some
that
talent
is
at wide receiver.
literally false when people are literally breaking records and,
How?
and have higher completion percentages and all of this. Like it just blows my mind to actually like hear people have all of this stuff and then actually don't even watch these players comparing them, saying that they're the exact same when they're not. To compare CJ Stroud and Justin Fields and say that they're the exact same
The
is just
system looks the
bogus.
same.
The system is the system. That's
Yep,
Ryan
that's
Day. That's
that's
not
what
Right.
the
we're
It's
players.
saying.
That
different.
does not make the players
It's not
comparable.
prepping.
The
It's not
system is
prepping
the
the guy for
system.
the NFL. That's the thing because it's like
How
you
can
guys
we
have
say
better
that and the
athletes than
system only's
everyone on
been
the
there since
field.
2019?
Everything is spread wide open. So every pass a guy makes, the wide receiver is damn near open
That's
on
not
a lot of
true.
those throws. On a lot of throws, let me say that.
The biggest issue with this year's team is separation. They don't get the same separation that Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson has. So, but
Downfield separation,
also
yeah, I
no, not
agree.
even downfield. Not even downfield. We're even talking within 10 yards. They're not getting separation either. That's an issue. But also, let me tell you the difference between Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. They can make contested catches. Ohio State
Penn State.
receivers this year, other than Marv, cannot make contested catches. It has been an issue. It has been something that I have talked about publicly.
Mm-mm. Not the same.
Publicly. So, I mean, the system is the system. Doesn't mean because, he's throwing the same passes that Justin Fields did when he was there. That's Ryan Day's playbook. That doesn't even make sense.
It's
That's
made
crazy.
it's like the system makes it easy for the QB, so the QB isn't challenged enough as a quarterback.
If I'll tell you this, CJ Stroud had it harder than Justin Fields because those wide receivers
Huh?
the wide receivers that Justin Fields had
Yeah.
could get open and could get separation.
You
This
guys have
year,
elite
CJ
wide receivers
Stroud,
this year too.
we were supposed to. We were supposed to by the rankings, everything. I was one of the main people. One of the
You
main
good,
people
Mike?
sitting here saying, hey, I'm good. Of course I'm going to be good. My team is 11-1. Yes, I'm good.
Stroud got to use his
Like
feet more.
a lot of
Hey,
people's
but
teams
listen,
got 2
You can't-
losses, but
Hey.
like I was saying or whatever, I was one of the main people like, I hyped up these wide receivers before actually playing. But the only person like that we saw play when Chris Olave was making plays, you had Jackson Smith and Jigba and Marvin Harrison, right? Now, I do believe if Jackson Smith and Jigba was there, it would have helped relieve some of the issues that was going on with the offense because we know JSN can get open and we know Marv can get open. But when your other 2 wide receivers, and people had charted this, that Marvin was getting most of the production when it came and most of the targets when it came to passing, which means that the other 2 wide receivers, Julian Fleming and Emeka Egbuka, weren't holding their weight. That's the issue.
switch Stroud for
Caleb.
Caleb Williams, and Ohio State is the overwhelming favorite.
Of course, because his bro, like I just
Mobility.
said, Caleb Williams went and said that their route tree was not working. He said it on national TV after the game in his interview. He said the route tree wasn't working. So I had to scramble and move my feet or whatever to make plays to happen, which is exactly what happened because, like I said, you can't cover a wide receiver for freaking 7 minutes. For 7 seconds. That's not it. But what Ohio State is not built to do that. It's like run the route, create separation, and get there. And them guys did not hold their end of the bargain. And also, as a quarterback, if your wide receiver cannot catch in traffic, are you going to throw it to that wide receiver? Because, he did. He tried earlier in the game. And he was like, I need you to get more open before I throw it to you. You're going to drop it anyways?
Yeah, they was dropping, but he tried.
He tried.
He did try.
And this guy's fitted through NFL windows, have given, like, literally, you're supposed to be able to put it to where you can give your player a chance to make the ball and make a play. And people just couldn't.
And you say, you guys are 11-1, but I honestly think there are 3 or 4 teams in the SEC that could beat Ohio State. I honestly think that. I'm just stating the facts. I don't think y'all.
You can't call it facts because the games can't be played. So
but I don't think y'all.
You can't call it facts because it's all up presumption.
Can't beat Georgia. You can't do anything with Georgia.
I would give you Georgia. I can't say the Bama one.
Run for your money. Tennessee will give you a run for your money.
I'll stick with that.
I would say that, but I can't say Bama would beat us because Ohio State's issue that put them in a bad position in their biggest game was their DBs, right? What has been Bama's biggest weakness on their defense?
What about y'all? DBs?
That's why, huh?
What about y'all DBs?
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Our DBs are trash. That's why we lost.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy literally was beating us, going against everything of their identity.
Everything.
They beat us in the ass, bro. Like our DBs got cooked.
And you
it's
were
not
saying
like
that
I'm
the
not
defense
saying this
was better. Like you were telling me that y'all were overcoming this. We discussed this.
Hold on,
y'all
the defense isn't better than last year?
The defense is better. I can't.
You're literally going to tell me that the defense isn't better than last year.
What you have to stop doing is looking at the numbers. Your schedule
ain't even about the numbers.
Your schedule is going to favor your defensive numbers. You're going to look like you have a decent
schedule.
Defense.
I just debunked this narrative, and you just can't get common sense through your head.
Have
Lord
to look
Jesus,
at
have mercy.
what's going on in the game. Like y'all playing Toledo, Arkansas State, Indiana.
Your team lost to Liberty.
Okay,
I'm supposed to take advice from somebody who has never known an elite team. Oh my God, bro! Your team has never won never had a 10-win season, bro. What are you talking about?
Really, Mike? We never had a 10-win season. The
Bro,
big team
you
was
hold
struggling
on.
against
I'll
the
ask you
SEC
this:
big
do your
team.
team annually lose to group of 5 schools? And I'm supposed to take advice to that? Come on, man! Like that makes no sense, bro. Like, and then I already
We
debunked
watching football
both
every week,
both
man.
conferences since
Outside of my
even
team.
even last
Outside of my
year.
team. I watch
Even
football every
okay, you
single week.
also hyped up when in the beginning. You also hyped up. Hey, when you were talking about the strength, oh, the SEC got this. They got Texas A&M. Look at Texas A&M. They ain't even going bowling. Ain't nobody
Yeah,
trying to
but
hear that crap,
look
bruh.
at the
Ain't nobody
professionals
trying to
on
hear
their
that
Hey, but
crap,
they
team.
showed
bruh.
up this
Ain't
week. They
Look
nobody.
at
showed
the
up
I mean,
this
I
talent
week.
on
know.
their
At
team.
least I'm sitting here admitting the weakness of my team. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But to sit here and I'm gonna let you say that the defense isn't better. Numbers ain't got nothing to
The
do with
defense
that. They
isn't
were able
good.
to. They were able to stop the running game until they literally went like literally. You want to know why they started running? Look at what the
Huh?
defense was. If you're talking about actually watching the game, they literally was stopping the run. Because they was putting all these guys in the box. Then when they stopped and they had the linebackers to help and start dropping back in coverage, the running game opened up and that's when they started running the ball. What are we talking about?
I don't know what you talking about because y'all didn't stop the run. So you just
Oh my
talking.
God, bro!
You
This
just
dude don't.
talking, man.
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you, everybody, for being able to be here when it was EG was here to be able to say he did not watch the game because in the first half they were only averaging 1.8 yards
They
per carry.
wasn't running the ball.
Because,
They were
okay, so
passing
my point exactly
overwhelmingly.
is called
They were
adjustments.
passing a
Oh, so
lot.
what adjustments did the defense make? The adjustments that the defense made was to help out in the passing game, which went away from what the running game, right? So when they started helping more in the pass, the running game was open. Duh, it's
Yeah.
called an
Yeah.
adjustment.
Yeah.
God damn! And
They
then what
did
they
start
weren't
out
what
passing.
weren't they doing when they made the passing adjustments? They weren't passing the ball because the passing lanes weren't open. They were running that bitch. Like
Y'all
let's be
loaded the
real. Like
box.
God damn, this
Y'all
nigga
had loaded the
literally
box
is
and
not
still
fucking
couldn't stop
talking
Edwards.
ball. Do you not know like football adjustment?
It's a
Mario said it's a
60-minute ball
significant
game. That's
You
what
are
I'm
adjustment.
saying.
exactly right. And literally, they adjusted. Hey, they passing the ball on us. Let's adjust to stop the pass. Boom. Soon as
Absolutely.
we adjust to do that, they start running that
They
mug down
started
our
running it.
goddamn throat
Yep.
or whatever. So the issue
You're saying what I
but here's the
said.
thing, though. Here's the thing. We literally want to put all of this on the defensive fault, but we literally want to put this all on the defense's fault. But did Ryan Day really? We really gonna sit here and say Ryan Day called an excellent game? Because,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I
He ran
said,
Trash.
y'all system.
hold on. I'll ask you this, EG, since you watch film. How
Trash.
many times has the swing passes worked for Ohio State?
It doesn't have to be a swing pass. I'm not
I'm
keeping up
asking
with a number like that.
I'm asking you, how often has the swing passes and bubble screens worked for Ohio State?
Yeah, they work pretty damn well.
Actually,
We
they have not. They have been terrible this year. Another way of showing that you don't watch film. It has been terrible. The outside
Mike,
perimeter.
you
Hold
can
on, hold on.
cut that
I'm gonna
narrative
tell you why.
out, Mike.
It's not
Be
a
quiet.
narrative. Everybody has been
We were
talking
in
about
a
it.
group
The
chat during the
film
game.
shows it. The film
You can
shows
stop
that
that.
these dang on
The
screen
guys throwing
passes
quick passes
don't.
all
It
game long. It
don't
don't have to
work.
be a screen.
It
It
has
doesn't have to be
not
a
worked
screen.
anyways. So
The
like I was
quarterback is
saying,
doing one
those
step
has
drop and
never worked.
passing the
And
ball.
then Ryan Day, okay, how many times has the outside stretch worked? Running the ball outside. How many times has that worked?
Yeah.
It has
Plenty
never
of times.
worked. So literally, this Ryan Day called plays that has not worked all season. The screens, the bubbles, the outside run has not worked all season.
This was supposed
I
to be the
have
best
came on this.
offense in the nation, Mike. That's
It
what you
was
were telling me.
It was
supposed to be,
supposed to
and
be.
obviously,
It was
I can sit
supposed to
here
be.
and say that it was not.
It was
I can
supposed to
admit
be.
the
Of
ignorance
course you can.
and the stupid things about my team. I can admit the truth. But I'm
I
literally
can
going to
too.
speak off film. You literally just said that the screen passes and everything been working for Ohio State all year when
It's
it
not a
didn't work.
it
It
doesn't
didn't
have to
work.
be a
Ohio State
screen.
fans were literally screaming at their TV every time they saw outside run play, every time they seen a screen bubble, because it has never worked. It didn't work against Penn State, did it? No, because them DBs was throwing them wide receivers on the ground and getting them tackles behind the line of scrimmage.
Okay,
It
Mike, I
never
got a question.
worked.
I got a question.
And you're sitting here saying that it's been working all season. You
I got a
don't watch the
question.
film.
I got a
Why are
question,
you
Mike.
exposing yourself like this?
How is there 2 wide receivers on Ohio State's team with 8 combined catches with only 20-something yards? How in the hell they got 8 catches with
Didn't I
20-something
just
yards?
explain this?
So
Didn't I
what
just
type
say
of
that they
passes are
weren't
they
getting
throwing,
that
Mike?
separation? Didn't I just
What
say that
kind
they
of
weren't
passes are
getting
they
separation?
throwing?
7 seconds.
You can't dink and dunk. That shit is not. Yeah, wipe your sweat off, Mike.
It's a little hot in here. My wife turned the heat on.
She said
My
it's
wife
a
turned
winner.
the heat on, so
She
it's
said it's
definitely
a
a little
winner.
bit hot in here. Yeah.
My
But
whole thing is, yeah, y'all do the short pass and y'all keep the
okay.
numbers great, but
Thank you
the
for
good wide receivers can
admitting
make
that
the
you don't
plays
watch
out of it.
film. Come on, keep going with the narrative and saying that you don't watch the film.
Hey, you
Saying
can
that
say
these
whatever,
things,
man. We was group chatting the
saying that
whole
these
time during the game,
and I was
analyzing the
telling you, and I
entire
was trying to
game.
save you because I was saying, EG, there's no way that you watch the film because you said that you watched that Penn State game. You said, I'm going to watch the whole game. You said this on here that you were going to watch the whole game. Then come to find out you didn't watch the whole game.
How you gonna tell me I didn't
Hold
watch
on,
the
here's
game,
another
Mike? What the
thing.
hell are you even talking about?
EG, can I go and find a
What are
tweet
you
that
saying, man?
EG, can I not go find a tweet that says that you don't even watch Ohio State games? Did you not
I
tweet that
watched
out?
Penn State. Did I not say
Okay.
that?
And in the Penn State game, because you honestly didn't watch the whole game, what screenplay was working? What outside
You don't have
pass
to call it a
was working?
screenplay, Mike.
A
It's not a
screenplay, a
screenplay.
swing play, any of that
They now
stuff
routes.
for
That's
you
what y'all
throw.
run. Now
Even
routes.
even it was never working. It never did.
Y'all do it the entire game. That's why
Oh
y'all
my
can't go
God,
score when y'all
bro.
need to.
Lord Jesus.
That's why y'all couldn't go score when
Oh
y'all
my
needed to. That's why
goodness,
y'all
bro.
only scored 3 points
Oh my
in the second half. That's why.
my
Because y'all don't
point
have much
exactly.
downfield passing.
It wasn't even that. But
If your
okay.
2 wide receivers are covered up, y'all can't do nothing.
If 2 wide receivers covered up, you don't, like I said, don't even understand the issues. At least I'm honest and ready to speak about the issues of what actually happened. Like I can admit what the issues
Like
are
my
on
guy
my
said,
team.
y'all defense is trash, and that's what everyone knows.
It's
The
okay.
defense is terrible. You saying it's better, but
We'll
it's
see.
still trash.
It's trash. Wow, that's crazy. They went 11-1, but they trash, bro. That's crazy.
Look who y'all played.
Look
They
who we
scored 3
played.
in the second half.
Look
3
who we
second half
played.
points.
Filthy
The best
narrative,
offense
bro.
in the nation. 3 second half points.
Yep, they was terrible.
Yeah,
I am able to say that they're not the best offense in the nation. Actually, have I not been saying Ryan Day's play calling has been poo these past few weeks? I'm on record saying this stuff.
you did.
I'm on record. I go on record saying these things for a reason. This is the whole point of this, to be able to go on record and say these things.
You need to watch teams other than Ohio State.
It's
man.
crazy. It's crazy, EG, because I actually watch all the games. Anybody who knows me knows I watch all the games. There's SEC fans who will tell you, Mike watches all the games.
Mike watches.
I can show you a picture of me watching all the games. Like I actually watch the games. That's why I knew that there's 3 SEC teams and 3 Big Ten teams that have double-digit wins. That's why
that doesn't mean anything.
That's why I knew that both of our conference have
go play
Rutgers in Northwestern. It's kind of crazy. Like everybody want to dog these teams, but in this recent CFP era, some of these crappy teams like Minnesota, some of these crappy teams like Iowa have got wins against SEC teams, bro. And I agree. Yes, the Big Ten this year. The Big Ten this year definitely was one of the 3rd or 4th conferences this year. Yes.
Yeah.
Normally they are number 2, but this year I can say that they were 3 or 4. And I think actually we talked about this on the previous episode. So it's not like I'm not able to sit here and say, hey, the Big Ten took a step back this year, because the West definitely didn't hold their end of the bargain. And that's where the SEC normally gets a blessing at, because imagine if a Penn State was on the other side of the division, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it. Yep. They got the big on his back, man. You know, Ohio State held it down for 2 decades, and now they done came in the trap and took over the trap.
Yeah,
they're gonna represent the playoffs for y'all this year, and we know.
I'm gonna still be rooting against them because I hate them. But they won.
Hey, I would hate for either one of y'all to play Georgia. I would hate for that to happen.
All right, man. What else we got? We got to run through some
Oh
stuff
yeah,
real quick.
we got to get to it. So with the pick totals, we had EG coming in at 2-1 this week. I came in as 1-2, and Mike came as 0-3. So
Yeah, man. I
it
literally
was
thought I had a win until Oregon messed it
Oregon.
all up,
You
bro.
had it at Oregon
Golly,
win, and
bro.
I was like, nah, Oregon didn't come out with that dub.
Ugh.
Speaking of which, let's get into some previews for this upcoming weekend. We got Utah taking on USC Friday, a Friday night game on Fox. This is the rematch. USC hoping to walk away with the dub this time. They previously lost to Utah at back in earlier this season, so I think it was October 15th, and this was in Salt Lake. They handed them the first loss and only loss of the season, with Cam Rising scoring the game-winning touchdown and a 2-point conversion with 48 seconds left. So I know a lot is on the line for this game, and you know me, I'm a Lincoln Riley fan, so I'm gonna have to go with USC on this. Mike EG, which one do you want to go first on this one? Who you think will walk away with the win?
Well, I guess I'll go. I mean, I'm hoping USC holds their end up. I'm hoping they get the job done. But hey, that's a very tough game. Utah is not a slouch for a team like USC. You know, everything's so much on the line as well. So that's what makes the game even more harder to win. So man, I got USC in a tight battle right there. As
Yeah,
long as the ref don't screw them again, they see wins comfortable.
I think when USC lost to Utah, I think it was at Utah. ESPN's FPI has Utah at like 61% above USC. Um, Here's the thing. I'm picking USC. Like I said, I watched Notre Dame's D-line and guys break through them trenches, but the one thing they just couldn't do was get Caleb Williams down. Also, when you're playing a team for the second time around, it's hard to beat a team twice. And now it's also on, what do you call this? Dang. What do you call it? It's at the location.
Neutral?
Neutral location,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
It's
at
a
a neutral site location. So, I mean, I'm sure the USC fans are going to show up in full support. I know Utah travels very well as well. So, I mean, I'm expecting this to be a good game, but USC pulls out and they etch their names into the playoffs, and they'll be going up against Georgia.
Yep, they definitely got a lot riding on this game. And Utah surprisingly makes her way back into the conversation. I know earlier in a couple of shows we had who would walk away as the conference champ, and I had Utah. So it's nice to see them making a little comeback. For another game, we got Kansas State taking on TCU Saturday at 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC. Is Kansas State back for revenge? As you just heard Mike say, it's really hard to win against another team 2 times. The last time the two teams met, Kansas State QB Martinez left with the injury. TCU shut out Kansas State in the second half, and then so with Martinez gone, Will Howard stepped up to the plate. He's been comfortable throwing around 30 passes per game. He's only had one interception since starting as a QB, and I think the other interception was against TCU in that game where Martinez went out hurt. Mike, who do you have for this?
Man, I'm gonna go against. I'm gonna go with TCU, man. They always seem to get it done. Max Duggan just always
Max
seems to be
Duggan.
a baller, and I mean, I just watched Kansas State. They struggled a bit in their rivalry game. Maybe it was because of rivalry, but I don't have any faith in Kansas State quarterback Howard. They got Deuce Vaughn, but that's about it. TCU showed me that they know how to have defenses in big games, so I'm definitely gonna ride with TCU, man. Also, their play calling this past weekend, amazing. Wish I had that offensive play caller. I can tell you that much.
Hey, man, TCU. My guy said that TCU lose this weekend and USC plays Michigan. I mean, that would be a great scenario for USC. I think they match up with Michigan better. I would hate for them to get Georgia, man. Don't do that to yourself. But But man, in this game, man, I got TCU, man. When you watch TCU, their defense always seems to make a play. It's not a great defense, but it's a playmaking defense.
Yeah.
Those guys are gonna get a pick. They're gonna make a fumble. It's just like they make a lot of plays on their defense. And Max Duggan, man, that's the playmaker. Also with that NFL wide receiver Johnston out there, man. That guy is is money, man. They saying he the first wide receiver off the board this year, man. I like the game versus Kansas State. I think it was a real solid victory for TCU, man. We just keep counting TCU out. We keep saying that TCU is one of the weaker teams in the playoffs, man. But hey, I think TCU is interesting right now, man. They doing it on both sides of the ball. They have their playmaker on offense at quarterback, wide receiver. They got a nice running back, and their defense. They make plays on defense. They're gonna pick a ball off. So man, I got TCU winning this one.
TCU goes on undefeated for the first time since 2009. Also, I got to give a shout out. Look, we got some Vols fan up in here. GBO, okay. Destroy Vandy. Hey, they need to put us up in the ranking. I'm just going to say it's ridiculous how they rank us beneath Bama. And Milton, he does have a grenade launcher.
I do hate that they ranked you guys under Bama, especially when you both have 2 losses, but y'all win on the head-to-head.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
This committee trash, bro. Like, we've been saying this, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. Head-to-head doesn't even matter, but I guess it's about the teams you beat late. I don't get it. Like,
here's the thing.
The later victories.
They say when you're comparing a team equivalent, you have to go to
head-to-head.
To the head-to-head. And it's like your rankings don't show it, though.
They eliminate the head-to-head.
But that's the thing. Like, I just feel like the committee, you just
so
never
much respect
know.
for Bama, like they respect Bama so much.
It's crazy.
I definitely think we would be Bama, even with Joe Milton.
But you have to look at the way Tennessee beat Bama. They beat Bama in the last second, so their game was anybody's game. You can't just say like, hey, this team is better than that one. Like, I think that was anybody's game. Tennessee just happened to get the ball last.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I think that comes in the weigh in, but at the same time, I don't know. He said, "Girl, bye."
Hey, Tuck said, "I ain't having it."
Hey, I'm just saying. It's a possibility with Milton that we could, but Bryce Young has found
Milton?
his. Yes, with real. Did you not see him? Did you not?
Vanderbilt.
It don't matter. They put him in every second half of the game after we blow out every person. But, okay. Anyway, all right. I'm not.
As he said, girl, bye.
I don't know, man. Bama's still creepy good, man. Yeah. They'll beat somebody, man. They'll beat somebody right now.
Hey, they say Bama make it to the New Year's Six Bowl, so we'll see.
Yeah. I want them to play Ohio State, man.
Oh, no.
It won't be because Ohio State be going to the Rose Bowl, so we'll be Ohio State. It's like how these conferences have things. It's like it's the second best player or whatever, or second best team. They go to the Rose Bowl or some crap like that.
I thought it was like the last two teams out, a sort of thing like that.
Because Ohio State was one of those 2 teams out last year, right? And they still went up against Utah in the Rose Bowl. Like, it's the Pac-12 and the Big Ten has that thing where like our teams that don't make the playoffs, our top teams that don't make the playoffs, go against.
They go to the Rose Bowl,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the SEC and the ACC has something like that too. So
yeah, I just remember we used to play y'all in the Sugar Bowl. So
yeah, that's because I don't think that we was the best team that year.
Okay, y'all might have 2 losses.
I don't think we was the best team in the Big Ten that year.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say to this comment, because Spencer Rattler decided he wanted to play football. That's the only reason why. The last couple of games,
about 4 points in 2 games. Last play of the game. 2 top 10 teams. You got stumped by South Carolina. That's true.
We could say the same thing about Ohio State, about Bama, and Tennessee. Yeah. The DBs suck. If they go all out for a running game, they can all 3 do that. If they go all out to stop a running game.
Oh yeah.
But when the passing game start going overhead, ain't nothing them DBs can do about it. So, but EG, you also made this point. Ain't
Put money on it.
nobody DBs really look like that this year,
You remember? Yeah,
other than
facts. Like
Georgia. Really, ain't
everybody
nobody
DB been
DB.
getting
Yeah.
cooked all year long.
Yep, it looks like it
Pac-12
might
and Big
be.
Ten.
Yep.
Hold on, what was that last comment?
Oh, this one. UT won't beat Bama again. I said put money on it.
Yeah, I don't
Put
think so
money
either.
on it.
I don't think so either.
And it
They
looks like,
barely escape. Head to
Hey,
head don't
he right.
matter.
Hey, to
yeah.
this committee, heck no, they
Mm-mm.
already showed us, man. I'll tell you this: I think Penn State should be a top 10 team. No, I think they should have been in the top 10.
Penn State got
Especially
some. It's got
especially
an
their only
impressive
two
look right
losses
now.
was to like what will be now top 6 teams.
Yeah.
Yep. We want Clemson. Okay, I could go with that.
All the shit Dabo talking.
Yeah,
Ha.
let's talk
That'll
about
be a good matchup. I think y'all can get Clemson with Milton.
Yeah.
let's talk about Clemson, man. Clemson got a matchup against USC. I
Yeah.
mean UNC after coming off of a loss to South Carolina, man. I don't know who
Clemson,
to pick in
man.
this game,
I
man. I'm gonna have to go to Clemson just because I know UNC has no type of defense whatsoever, you know. But the thing is I know that the back half of Clemson is terrible. And if I'm sitting here saying whose offense is better, I know UNC's offense
and their
I
offense is
Yeah,
way better.
a lot better.
a lot
Mhm.
better. So this is a hard one. I mean, I think this game can go either way. I'm just going to go with Clemson because they've been there before. They have the culture. And then it's just what they have done after their losses, man, you know? So we'll
Yep.
see.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. I think Clemson is gonna come in and they're gonna redeem themselves in the season and try to come out with the win. EG, what you think on this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Clemson too, man. I don't see UNC being able. I think this will be a game where Clemson can get back to just running the ball and just handing it to Shipley, handing it to the other running back, and they could just beat a team like UNC because the defense is so lackluster. I mean, everybody they play, they giving up at least 30 some points to most of those teams. You know, every comp game UNC's played in, they nearly lost, but they won down the stretch. You know, I think they lost to NC State, they lost to South Carolina, they lost to I can't even think of who else they lost to, but every close one they've lost. So I'm gonna go with Clemson. Every tough team they play, they haven't beat.
Gotcha. We got two more matchups. We got LSU versus Georgia.
Georgia.
I'm Georgia.
Ain't nothing to discuss, bro. Like LSU, we knew LSU was frauds when they barely beat Arkansas, bro.
With the
Like
third string QB.
exactly, bro. Like we knew.
That was
Hey,
embarrassing to lose to
hey,
A&M just
we're,
recently,
we're
though,
gonna
man.
we're gonna say this: LSU fans beat Bama, not LSU. The fans in
Yeah,
Death Valley beat Bama because
yeah.
LSU didn't beat Bama.
I don't understand it, man. That's one of the weird losses. You know, it's like LSU had it going. I don't know if that's inconsistency with the coaching staff or what, because these last 2 or 3 weeks, LSU just hasn't looked good. It's like, why were they hyped up? Why were they at 15 with 2 losses? It's like, they should have beat A&M easily. A&M had this their second SEC win this year, which is embarrassing. Like, that's crazy.
Hey, Jimbo calls it a winning season. Anyway.
Which is why I can't wait for them to get rid of the divisions in the SEC, the East and the West. I can't wait till they get rid of it because we wouldn't have to see LSU versus Georgia right now, which is a totally irrelevant game right now.
Hey man, like I said, man, I have been saying that team fraudulent, man, straight fraudulent.
I would like to see Bama play Georgia right now.
Oh yeah, I would definitely like to see that as
I would
well.
like to see that.
And for our last game, we got Purdue taking on Michigan. Michigan comes in this game after the win over Ohio State. But speaking of Purdue, they defeated Indiana 30-16 on Saturday to improve 8-4 overall. So this will be their first outright West Division title and their first time in the program history at the Big Ten champ. So congratulations to them. So
Yeah. I hate to say it, that team up north about to spank Purdue, man. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing: Aiden O'Connell can get hot. I think that they're getting healthy at the end of the year. Purdue is, but that team up north go in. No. Since they have got rid of the leaders and legends or whatever, nobody from the Big Ten West has won it since. Like when they had the leaders and legends, they won it. Wisconsin did a couple times, I want to say. But since they went East-West divisions, no Big Ten West team has won it. So I'm not going to pick a 7-4 Big Ten West team to win it ever. Like, no, not happening.
Yeah, man. I got Michigan, man. Michigan by a lot. You know, it's so impressive that the year Corum had, and the way Donovan Edwards just filled his shoes this week. It's just really impressive, man. If you look at Michigan, man, that offensive line, hey, that's a monster right there. They're opening up holes. They're shifting things around. So Michigan, man, that's a physical team right now. I got them beating Purdue pretty easy.
Yeah. I think honestly, I would like to see their O-line against Georgia. I think Georgia would smack it though.
Yeah, Georgia's just a
I
different animal.
I really didn't see their O-line give Ohio State that much push.
They
at all.
opened up a lot of holes. It's just like, because the running back, it's not like he hit it and instantly went. He's like, he crept into it, then he shot out. You know,
It's like if you like, one thing, like I said, if you built that for that run, but you actually got DBs, it's a wrap, bro. Like it's a wrap on that team, bro. You just gotta have some DBs on the back end. But like we said, man, nobody has really had those DBs this year. So
all year.
Georgia is gonna have to show that they got the DBs.
Yep. I think going into the playoffs will be Georgia's true test because they really haven't had any this season. We did have some comments. I didn't.
Actually, I'm the one who probably said that Ohio State would probably win by a lot. I don't think neither one of them did. I want to say Disney picked Ohio State, but she was on the fence. So if you want to fry anybody or cook me, I'm standing in the paint. Because EG definitely didn't pick Ohio State.
Definitely did.
So D Brown, you can cook me all you want, man. I stand here. I'm in the paint, man. I'm in the paint.
He already knows.
I've been in the paint all weekend long, man.
Yep. Anyone talking trash about Tennessee? Go ahead, take it off with Josh. Yes.
I mean, next year, man, I expect Tennessee to be like a 9-win or 9-win team, you know, because you got to get Milton in there, and then you got to get your Nico guy going. So it'll be a building thing with that the first year. But hey, if he could come out and be real impressive with Milton in this first year, I like to experience Milton get late in the year. If he come out and be impressive with Milton too, Hyper gonna be looking for a raise.
Oh yeah.
Man, that guy, that'll be impressive if he can come out and get 10 with Milton.
As long as he stays at Tennessee, I'm good for it.
Yeah.
And Tuck said he would love to see the Georgia Bama lineup. Yeah, I would like to.
I don't think it'd be pretty, to be honest with you. I think Georgia would smoke them, bro. Like,
hey, but you know what, man?
I think Georgia would smoke them.
My one issue with Georgia is they ain't been battle tested much, man. They've been playing down to competition as of late, man, and it's really. But I mean, my thing is, we know what Georgia can do. They beat some good teams.
Hey, EG, I think your roommate might have got might have got on the mic.
Nah, I'm just saying, bro. Like, my thing, I just been watching Georgia, man. They've been playing the way they played Kentucky, the way they played Kent State, the way they played Missouri. It's like, man, they play down the competition just to beat you on your level. And I think in the playoffs, that's a scary thing to do.
So EG, man, when I would bring Georgia up, when you be talking about not playing nobody, why you ain't never agree with me, bro?
I'm just saying, man, they the reigning champs, man.
I'm just asking, why you ain't never agree with me when I was saying like they ain't playing nobody? Like
I know, like I live in Athens, bro. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Mike.
Bro, you would get on me, bro. You would get on me because you'd be like, oh, you got Kentucky. And then I had to show you Kentucky was a fraud, bro.
But look, though, I live in Athens. I look at their schedule and say, man, it's games I don't even want to freaking go to because they don't play anybody.
Yeah.
Like everyone, I argue that every single week in my barbershop. I tell them all the time, Georgia don't play anybody. But they didn't play nobody last year, and still when they did, they came and killed the people. So I can't use their argument with Georgia no more because they still, when they played somebody, they came and proved they were still that team. So I can't use that with Georgia. They get to the big game and still play good football. So I can't really use the argument no more. I used to say it in the barbershop every week. Hey man, they don't play nobody. Man, they started this. I can't even use it no more because when they got to the big game, they wouldn't crush some shit.
I
Especially
got you.
Michigan. That shit was crazy.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh, he said, I wish we had Georgia and Neyland this year. They are undefeated, so that stadium be rocking.
Man,
Oh.
y'all would still lose. That defense is too much.
They said Bryce not getting smoked by anyone. Didn't he hit 8,000 yards? This
3,000.
3,000. I'm sorry, not 8,000. Yeah,
For the
3,000.
second straight time.
Yep.
Yeah, go blue. Salute Mike and the crew. See y'all next year.
Yep, you was right. Hey, he said it.
Hey man, they trying to get their decade back, man. I feel it, Brad. I feel it, man. Hey, y'all did y'all thing. Y'all still suck to me. I still hate y'all. I will always hate y'all. Go ahead and get your doors blown off in the playoffs, man. Go enjoy that, bro.
Woo, not in the playoffs.
Wrong time to get your doors blown.
Hey, not a rematch with Georgia.
You all do not want that smoke, bro. I don't think y'all want that smoke, bro. Yeah, they don't miss tackles like my team did. I'm just saying, y'all don't want that smoke. Yeah, y'all don't want that smoke. I'm sorry. Like, even what y'all did, like, y'all don't want that smoke. They not missing tackles like my team did. Because, I mean,
and they're going to pressure the QB as much as they want. They're going to pressure the QB with ease. It's like they're going to get back there. It's not it's how many times they going to get back there. It's not like if. They going to get back there.
What you got to do is you got to send that safety down hard. Because when he's throwing the ball, what they did is he's not dropping back. He's straight hike, run to the outside, and then throwing the ball. Like, so, I mean, you send that safety down there, hit that gap or whatever, and make him cut back in. He cutting back in into another defensive player. It's a wrap. Like I said, I was literally calling the game. Like, I don't know how I don't make $1 million and I'm able to make these adjustments in my head and see everything. But hey.
Brian Day said it's all on him. That's exactly what he said.
Hey, you goddamn right. That play calling was goddamn trash, bruh.
Mm-hmm. He said if
you want that smoke again, bro. I don't know, man. Mm-hmm. McCarthy's gonna look real immature versus Georgia, man.
Oh yeah, he definitely We're gonna see though.
It's gonna be crazy. But
all right.
Good luck, Big Blue.
Good luck. Getting to the my favorite segment of the show, the game ball. Each week we hand the ball off to the player that we think deserves it. So I'll go first. I'm gonna have to give mine to Caleb Williams because he did his thing this week. And now, I mean, the numbers don't show it, but his feet and the footage and the tape definitely does. So congrats to them and USC, and I hope to see them pull it off and continue to hopefully go to the playoffs once they beat Utah next week.
Yeah, without him extending drives, they don't win that game.
It's about them key plays, man. Those key runs that he do make. You know, you don't have to run for 150. It's the key play you make, man. That's what college is about.
Oh yeah. EG, who you got?
My game ball, of course, I'm going with Donovan Edwards. I'm going with 22 carries, 216 yards in the biggest game of the year for those guys versus Ohio State. He had 2 touchdowns. I seen him break. Well, he broke one for I don't know how many yards. He broke twice and for over 60 yards, man. It was just a very impressive day.
I think it was like a 75-yarder and like an 80-something yarder.
Yes, okay. So a very impressive day for just a freshman who's a 5-star athlete coming out. So it's expected, man. So shout out to Donovan Edwards for running down Ohio State's throat, man. No homo, but
Mike, Mike, who you got?
Man, maybe the Penn State fans might hate me for this, man, but I've been telling them that this guy might be, one of their best quarterbacks in their history, and I think that they need to give him all of his flowers, and that's Sean Clifford, man. The man had 4 touchdowns, 202 yards, a QB rating at 83.6, man, and everybody has been calling to bench this man. We want to see Drew Aller, but again, he leads them to another blowout win. They win by 19 points. So I mean, they're back to double-digit winning seasons as well. Sean Clifford put you on that. Now he gets to pass the torch to Drew Aller to continue that. This gives you guys momentum. This gives you guys momentum going into next year. And this gives you guys momentum to say, hey, we are getting things fixed. We just need a couple key more players or whatever to get over the hump. And, shout out to Sean Clifford for putting that program in the right direction, man. And I honestly wish Penn State fans would just give that man his credit and his flowers. But, hey, man, the Midwest
Hey, you
teams
know
that
how it
love
is.
football, bro, they
You,
hard-headed.
you know how it is when it's not as pretty as they would like. He's not that, what I'm saying, the NFL looking quarterback, but he's just getting the job done. He's a lot like Bo Nix, man. He's in that same category where it just doesn't look like the pro
Flashy.
guy, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's not flashy, but it gets the job done, man. You got to give those type of people their flowers too.
exactly, man.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that's all that I have for today. If y'all don't have anything else, just make sure you follow us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of them. You name it. We come to you
Like,
every single
subscribe right
day.
here on YouTube. Like,
Yes.
subscribe.
Yes, please click
So
the like and subscribe button for us. Please, please do run those numbers up. And if you happen to miss parts of tonight's podcast, you can find us on tomorrow morning on your favorite streaming podcast platform. And with that, I believe we are out.
Deuces.